Okay, get this. Today we're going to break down a business story that, honestly, sounds like complete and utter financial suicide. We're talking about a guy on the very edge of bankruptcy who was told to start paying his customers to return his product. I know it sounds absolutely insane, but this one move turned him into a millionaire. So here was the situation. This guy, Mark, was running an online shoe store, and it was getting absolutely destroyed by a 40% return rate. Just think about that. For every 10 pairs of shoes he managed to sell, 4 of them were coming right back. The business was just bleeding cash. Bankruptcy wasn't just a possibility, it was pretty much knocking on the door. So what do, right? How in the world do you fix a problem that's literally sucking the life out of your company? You'd probably think the answer is to, cut costs, maybe make the return policy way stricter. But Mark's mentor suggested something that seemed like pouring a giant can of gasoline on an already raging fire. That was the advice. You heard it right. Not just a full refund for the shoes, but an extra $5 in cash just for the trouble of sending them back. Now, on the surface, this has to be one of the worst business ideas in history. Why would you ever incentivize the one thing that is killing your business? Well, that's exactly what makes this whole story so brilliant. This is what we're calling the $1 million paradox. Because that one single, completely counterintuitive piece of advice didn't just stop the bleeding, it totally transformed the entire business. So let's break down the 3-step psychological formula that makes a crazy strategy like this actually work. So to really get the solution, you first have to understand what the real problem was. See, that 40% return rate, it wasn't really about the quality of the shoes. It was being driven by this super powerful psychological force that we all know, buyer's remorse. It's that sinking feeling you get right after you click buy, and you start wondering, did I make the right choice? And that feeling leads us directly to the first step in the formula. You have to completely, 100%, reverse all the risk. The entire goal is to make the customer feel like there is absolutely zero downside to their purchase. None. This whole tactic has a name. It's called risk reversal. And it's a strategy where the business owner, on purpose, takes on all the risk of the transaction. All of it. So the customer feels completely and totally safe. By offering to literally pay them $5 for a return, Mark was basically shouting to his customers, there is no possible way you can lose in this deal. And what's so fascinating is that this principle works absolutely anywhere. Take this example of a street vendor named Marcus who sells watermelons. Everyone else sells them for $5, he sells them for $10. But here's his offer. If you get home and your watermelon isn't sweet, you get a full refund plus a new one for free. He is taking on all the risk. Just like Mark's $5 bonus, that free watermelon sends the exact same powerful signal. My product is so good, I am literally willing to bet money on it. And that signal just erases the customer's hesitation. Okay, let's move on to the second step, because this is where the psychology gets really, really fun. This is what we call the procrastination bet. By offering that $5 bonus and giving people a whole 30 days to return the shoes, Mark just completely removed all the anxiety. There was no pressure, no rush to make a decision. And what happens when there's no pressure? Well, human nature kicks in. We procrastinate. People put the box in a corner. They totally forget about it. Or maybe they wear the shoes a couple times, decide they actually like them, and then they start to feel kind of guilty about sending them back just for $5. So what was the result? I mean, it wasn't just good, it was absolutely staggering. Look at this. The return rate plummeted from a crippling 40% all the way down to just 2%. The bet against human procrastination didn't just pay off, it paid off in a massive way. We actually see this exact same bet in other places. Think about a high-end gym that charges a $1,200 annual fee up front, but they promise you a full refund if you just show up 4 times a week for the whole year. What's the gym owner really doing? They're betting against your discipline. They know that our confidence and our own willpower is usually way higher than our actual follow-through. It's a bet on human nature, exactly like Mark's. Okay, but you might be wondering, what about the few people who do return the shoes and take the $5? Did the business lose on that deal? Not at all. And that brings us to the final and honestly, the most powerful step of all, buying lifetime trust. Think about it like this. Imagine a veteran mechanic. He walks around a parking lot, finds cars with little dents, and puts a flyer on the windshield offering to fix them at a 50% discount. Now, he might barely break even on that first job, but what did he really just do? He just bought that person's trust. So now for every future oil change, every tire rotation, every big engine repair, who are they going to call? That first tiny loss was actually a brilliant investment in a lifetime customer. That $5 payout for the shoes? It's the exact same principle. So here's the crucial takeaway. There are really two ways to think about business. Amateurs, they focus on squeezing every single last penny out of one transaction. But the pros, the real top-level players, they understand that the very first transaction is just an invitation. It's a cheap ticket to bring someone into a profitable ecosystem where the real money is made over the long term. So, let's tie all this together. What is the master-level lesson we should all be taking away from this absolutely incredible story? It's actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Stop fighting against human nature. Things like procrastination, guilt, and our fear of risk. Instead, start designing your business around it. You have to understand that money isn't just for making a profit, it's a tool. It's a tool you can use to build trust, to remove fear, and to solve problems. Because at the end of the day, that's where true wealth really comes from, solving problems for other people and creating massive value. So, I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. After hearing this story, what is the craziest, most over-the-top, unbelievable business guarantee you've ever come across? Give it some thought, because now you have a little insight into the wild psychology that might just be behind it. Thanks for digging into this one with me.